Hello and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So a couple weeks ago, a local preschool reached out and asked if I would be willing to start a dance program. So a couple weeks ago, I went out and I taught a free trial. It was a creative dance class. And we ended up with 13 kids signing up. So I actually wasn't really expecting the class to go anywhere, but surprisingly it has, so I'm excited for that. So today is the first day of class, so I wanted to take you behind the scenes and just share how it goes and what I teach in the preschools. It's pretty similar to what I teach in the studio, and I've brought all my props with me today. So yeah, let's go teach creative dance inside a preschool. So I'm here at the dance studio and I just wanted to chat through the class and how it went. So besides the free trial that I did a couple weeks ago, this was my first time teaching this group of kids. I did plan out my lesson. I did our growing an apple tree lesson, and which is new. It's not a lesson that's available yet on our website, but I can talk you through it and hopefully inspire you and give you some ideas. So 13 kids, that's a lot of kids, especially when they are so little. And I would say the ages were anywhere from 3 to maybe 5. Ultimately, my recommendation going forward for this class is going to be to separate it into two groups. So I'm going to take the older kids, which I want to say there were 6 from that classroom, and they're going to have a 30-minute block. And then I'm going to take the 7, which was split between 2 of the younger classrooms, and I'm going to teach them in a separate block. And then I have a smaller group, and I'll kind of explain why. So what did I bring? I brought 1 of my straight foam balance beams and 2 of my curvy pieces. And then I brought 3 of my balance domes. And I also brought my stuffed apples. And I realized today that I only have 12 of my apples. So I had 13 kids. So I was immediately like, oh no, I don't have enough apples. So I did end up putting the apples out, but we didn't actually get to play with them until it was our obstacle course. So they were a little distracting. I totally spaced until I got all of the kids, and I realized I wasn't going to have enough apples for our warm up. But let me talk about the space. So when you go into a preschool, the space can be, you kind of never know what you're going to get, right? Because you're either going to be in a classroom or maybe you'll be like in a hallway. Where they ended up putting me was sort of, it wasn't a classroom, it was off the office, and it's almost like what I would call maybe a space for like private tutoring, maybe, or if a kid, maybe they have a therapy session. So it wasn't in the main classroom. There were tables and chairs and everything, and I kind of just pushed things out of the way. There was a big blue plastic table which I picked up. It was very light, and I put on another table. So then our room was more, there wasn't wide, it was more length. So long and narrow, but the space where we warmed up, there was a rug. It wasn't perfectly square. I would say more rectangular, but we were definitely tight because that's where we started our warm up, was on this little rug section. And I just kind of told the kids, I didn't, use any spot markers or anything like that. I just told them to sit on the edge of the rug. We got into a circle first to sort of help facilitate that. And then we did our warm up, and the story today was we were little seeds and we buried ourselves and watered ourselves and warmed us up. And then our roots grew out wide, and then we did a little point flex and pretended to sip water. We grew into a tree trunk and grew down, so a little spinal flexion. We did branches, and then lower body, we did walking. We didn't really have enough room to really stretch out this way. So that was kind of where we stopped at, was walking and running through the woods. We did do one freestanding story dance explorations. So I wanted to do two. I wanted to do one where we were stationary like the tree, and then I wanted to do another one where we could walk around and go apple picking. But I made the decision not to do the apple picking one just because I felt like we were too cramped and because I only had 12 apples and 13 dancers. So instead, we just did the one. And the song that I use is Apple Tree. I'll post it in the description down below. But it just kind of talks through like growing from a tiny little seed, being buried, drinking water. So sort of that life cycle of the apple tree, because that's really what we were exploring that day. After that, we got into our obstacle course. And the obstacle course it was a challenge for that many kids, and especially of their ages, to sit and wait as long as they had to sit and wait. I can only expect the kids to wait so long before it's their turn. So that was a big reason why I wanted to split the classes up into two groups. But I did build our apple tree. So I kind of wanted to show you what that looked like. So I had two of my curvy balance beam pieces and then one set of my straight balance beam. And then I had three of my balance domes. One was a basket. So two were spots where we could grow a leaf, and then one was a basket spot. Let me build this apple tree obstacle course for you. So the first thing that you're gonna need for the tree is two hula hoops. One's gonna be at the top of the tree. That's where our apples are gonna go. And then a second one will be at the bottom of the tree. And that is where the roots will go. And then we're gonna build the trunk of the tree. Our dance concept and the words that I used a lot of today were body shapes. So twisty roots, straight tree trunk. So that's the top of the tree and the roots. Then we're gonna use our two curvy branches. So, and today I didn't want to overwhelm them, so we just did a big leaf on the end of our curvy branches just to make it simple. Those are our curvy branches, and this is where I had my two balance domes. So red and yellow, I mean, it really doesn't matter what color. I tried to stick with the theme of an apple or an apple tree. And then in the top is where I put all of my apples. So I have 12 apples, and I came up with an idea after I left. And so I'll probably do this next week, but I'm gonna reserve two of my apples on one of these spots if we do this again, which I think next week we will probably repeat this when it's a smaller group and we can all kind of focus a little bit better. But I think next week, I didn't do this today, I'm gonna add two apples, and that can be the branches. I couldn't do it today because they pick an apple and then put it in their apple basket, which the apple basket is just an extra balance dome, which I put, if this is the space, this was sort of on the side of the room, like lengthwise, and then the rug was over here. So they picked an apple. They picked an apple and then they came to this side of the room where the rug is, and they put their apples in the basket. So here is our whole tree. And again, the kids were kind of waiting on the rug over here. There's our apple basket. So twisty roots, we twirled in the hula hoop. And then we made straight arms and straight legs, like the straight tree trunk. So I was really trying to get these words in today. And we tiptoe walked up the straight tree trunk, and we came over here to yellow, and we grew a leaf, which was just a turned in passe, and we did both feet. And then we came over here to this one and we did another turned in passe. Next week, I'll have them pick those apples, and we'll do a port-de-bras, like branches. So curvy port-de-bras, we'll do low branches, and then first position, high fifth, and second to get curvy. And then we do our jumping section. So we were birds and we flew around the top of the tree. So we just did our chassés one way and then chassé the other way. And then we picked one apple. So I'll grab my cute little apple here. And we came and we put our apple in the apple basket. And that was the whole obstacle course. All right, so that's all I have for you guys on today's video. If you'd like a part 2, just let me know in the comments down below. I'm happy to post an update on how it goes next week when we split that class in half. If you have any questions about any of the props that I shared today, they're all going to be linked in the description down below. Just know that my foam balance beam pieces have been sold out for a crazy long amount of time. I don't know if they're ever going to come back in stock, so I'm trying to find different options that could be similar, but they are not exact like the ones that I have, unfortunately. If you guys liked today's video, please make sure to hit that red subscribe button and let me know if you enjoyed it by giving me a thumbs up. And I will see you next time on another video here on the Dance to Learn YouTube channel. Happy dance adventuring!